Hey, we got a lively crowd today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Star. I'm Mike. I'll be your facilitator. And let's say hi to folks on Zoom.
Hi, Zoomers!
Zoomers. Looks like we got 4 or 5 on there. All right. Well, it's Father's Day. And so, happy Father's Day to the fathers and the father figures out there. And for the opening today, I was torn between 2 poems, so I'm just going to read them both. One is Father's Day, and the other is about animals, which has to do with our speaker today. So let me read the first one. It's a necktie or a noose for Father's Day. My lovely wife gave me a Father's Day card this morning because she knows our daughter will probably forget Dad unless she needs some money for gas. The card was handmade with a picture on the front of my wife and me sharing a huge hug at my office desk. She was sitting on my lap with her arms around my neck, her luscious lips puckered to deliver a package of love. A Kodak moment, to be sure, but only one of many more. When I opened the card, there, before my tired eyes, was a picture of my beautiful daughter at the tender age of 10. Seems like she was only yesterday she was 20. And me sitting cross-legged on the floor next to my precious. We were both loading up our tackle boxes, Mr. Wiffle fishing lures spread out all over the place. Her little laugh I can still recall. Laughing and so happy to be going fishing we were, picking out the various colors of lures we would need to catch that moment in time, only to be released all too soon. To suit any dad who loves their child the way that I love mine. The handwritten note inside the card told me of my wife's endless love for me, and what a great father and wonderful husband I've been all these many years. Because when you've been married as long as we have, there are no grounds for divorce, only homicide. That's not true by any means in my marriage. That poem was by a gentleman named Ted Sheridan. Now let's switch to the topic today. This poem is called Animals by Walt Whitman. I think I could turn and live with the animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. No one is dissatisfied. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me, and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? The end. So if you would, please join me in reading the vision statement on the front of your songbooks and up here on the board. Our Sunday gathering is designed to provide a weekly encouragement to individually manifest our highest good and purpose in our lives. Inner direction is the key. We reinforce positive directions for our lives and the infinite potential within us. We seek connections to create an open atmosphere of acceptance of all backgrounds, races, and lifestyles. We come together in the spirit of inclusiveness, embracing all spiritual paths, honoring God in an atmosphere of unconditional love. And please stand for our sing-along, which is on page 22, If I Had a Hammer, and we'll have our meet and greet after that.
Hammer out
Okay, everybody, finish off with those last hugs. And take your seats. The band is now ready to play us their special song. Here we go. All right.
Love my dog as much as I love you. You may fade, my dog will always be you. All he asks from me is food to give him strength. All he ever needs is love, and that he knows he'll get. 'Cause I love my dog as much as I love you. You may fade, my dog will always come through. All I need comes through shining eyes. I don't need no cold water to make me realize that I love my dog as much as I love you. You may fade, my dog will always come through.
Song come from?
Cat Stevens wrote that song.
Okay, okay. That did kind of, your voice did kind of sound like Cat Stevens there. Okay. Love it. Okay, wow. So it's time to kind of chill out and relax. We're going to do chant and meditation. So, sink into your seats, make sure your cell phones are off. And our chant this morning is listen. And I failed to write the page down. Somebody can blurt that out. Listen, listen, listen. 60 something probably. Yeah, probably 62. We find it? Anyone? First one gets a prize. 59, thank you. Okay. Sacred beat you by a second. And then Leslie will come up with her meditation after this.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all your fathers. And I have something weird going on with my voice and cough and all that nonsense. So I'm not contagious. It's just allergies and asthma combined. But with this rattling, I figured it might be nicer to do something a little different. And I found a clip that, thank you very much, Remy, is going to run for us.
There is a quiet wisdom in the clay, a silence that holds the deep memory of the earth. In its unshaped form, it rests in potential, waiting for the artist's touch, as we too wait to be formed by the unseen hands of grace. The potter begins with an act of trust, knowing that what the clay will become is already hidden within it, waiting to be revealed. This is how the divine works in each of us, a slow, unfolding mystery. On the wheel of life, we are always becoming. With each turn, we are shaped, sometimes by the soft pressure of love, and at times by the firm force of struggle. Yet through it all, there is a dance between the artist and the clay, a co-creation. The potter listens, responding to the subtle movements of the clay, and the clay in turn yields, becoming more than it was. We are invited into this dance with the divine, a dialogue between our longing and the holy shaping that molds us into vessels of love. Imperfection is not failure, but texture. Each flaw in the clay tells a story of its journey through the potter's hands, just as the scars we bear are the marks of our becoming. In the divine economy, nothing is wasted. The cracks, the uneven places, they are invitations to see beauty in what is unfinished, to love what is incomplete. We are all unfinished works of art, being shaped into the wholeness that is our truest form. There is a grace in surrender. The clay does not resist the hands that mold it, but finds its strength in yielding. So too, we are called to yield. Not to abandon ourselves, but to trust the process, to trust the hands that shape us. In the surrender, we do not lose ourselves, but are drawn more deeply into the truth of who we are. The potter knows the form the clay is becoming, even when the clay cannot yet see it. And then comes the fire, the heat that transforms, not to destroy, but to purify. In the kiln, the clay becomes its true self, hardened, resilient, ready to hold life within it. So too, we pass through the fires of our own lives, those moments of trial and refining. The fire does not come to break us, but to make us more fully what we are meant to be. Through the flame, we are made strong, vessels capable of holding love, light, and the holy breath of life. And in the end, the pot is more than just a container. It is a work of art, a reflection of the artist's hands and heart. As we are shaped, so too are we called to be vessels of love, of compassion, of justice. We are meant to carry something of the divine within us, to be poured out for the world in small, quiet acts of kindness. This is the sacred rhythm of creation, the journey of transformation from the earth to the hands of the artist, to the fire, and finally into the world.
That was very cool. Thank you, Leslie. That was, I love that. Okay, well, let me introduce Dena. So, Dena Kay was born and raised in Oklahoma City, metro area. She currently lives in Mustang with her 2 canine kids, 2 feline boys, and 2 box turtle girls that cannot be released back into the wild. She also cares for 1 parent still living and a single mom to a 23-year-old gorgeous creature named Kelsey. Dena has received her education, both education in veterinary technology. She's been a tester observer for Alliance of Therapy Dogs, while also employed for the AKC as a mentor for basic dog groups and dog sports. Today, Dena is going to present her perspective as an animal intuitive, going back through childhood experiences that led her to cultivate gifts of claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and clairvoyance, and how she finally crafted and tuned these gifts to work for animals and their human guardians, what our pets want us to know, and how we can best serve the animals in our lives. The title of her talk is Gifts of Communication. So Dena, come on up.
We're crippled a little bit.
So give us some sympathy.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, hello. It's a big crowd. I didn't expect this many people, that's for sure. Oh, hang on a second. You don't want me to use my teacher voice or my coach voice? Yeah. That's the coach voice. Okay. Well, I am a 61-year-old single female, born and raised in Oklahoma. I'm relatively normal, unless I talk to you about these gifts I've received. I have received several gifts that I was born with. I've had people come to me often when they find out what I do, and they want to know, how can I do that? Teach me to do that. I want to know what you do. Or the skeptics, of course, are like, yeah, tell me what this dog's thinking right now. No pressure there. I mean, the first thing you have to do with anyone who has psychic or those kind of abilities is recognize that most of us have an oath. My oath is never to listen to you in your head. I won't listen to what's in your head unless I have permission to do so. Does that mean that I don't know that somebody in here is struggling? I do, but it's not my business, and so therefore I don't do that. That's kind of an oath and a standard that you should have if you ever speak to anyone who has these type of gifts. A lot of people don't recognize, don't understand what I do, so I guess that's kind of why I'm here. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to ask me questions, and hopefully I'll provide you with an answer, maybe even a good answer. So, first thing I want to talk about is how this all started. Well, I was born. That's how it started. I do not remember in my life a time when I couldn't listen to and understand animals. And they've always given permission. I mean, wild animals, frogs, you know, before you step on that caterpillar or whatever, just think about it. There's a soul there. I mean, we all have a soul. And everybody thinks only people have souls. Well, that is absolutely not true. Anything living can have a soul. Some people believe trees and grass has a soul. And I could concur with that. I think that that's very plausible. I've never spoken to grass or trees, but I've hugged many trees and they love it, and I love it too. So am I a tree hugger? Yeah. Am I one of those left-wing radical Democrats? Yes, I am. It's a safe place, right? Can't even fly a flag in my driveway. I live in Redneckville. But that's okay. Those people just are not involved yet. And eventually, let's hope that they can turn around and see that every person deserves love. We need to respect everyone's integrity, their personality. You don't have to like me, but hopefully you can learn something from me. If nothing else, if somebody says, gosh, my cat keeps peeing in this spot on the floor and I just can't, I don't know why they're doing it. Give them my number. I do have a few business cards. I've got a website. But the majority of people in my life do not know that I do this. I would say 60%, 65% don't know. I don't walk up to random strangers and go, hi, I'm an animal intuitive. They'd be like, what is that? My own mother, when I was a small child, I was talking to my dog in the backyard, and my sister, she's older, of course, older sisters came out, you know, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm talking to the dog. Well, he can't understand you. Yeah, he can. No, he can't. That's impossible. That's like witchcraft. And I said, no, I'm not a witch. And no, the dog's telling me that, you know, he doesn't like your shirt. What's wrong with my shirt? Ask him. I don't know. She couldn't do it because that's not her calling. That's not her path. That's not her journey. It's mine. If you think that I can convince you to walk out here and be an animal communicator, you're wrong. You either have it or you don't. You're either born with it or you're not. If you haven't discovered it by, I'd say, 60, chances are you're not going to figure it out. I mean, I figured it out in my early 40s. I did what most people do. I had to conform to societal norms. What's normal? What's expected? I was put in a lovely private Christian school. Let's talk about trauma bonding. Yeah, I spent most of my life from 5th grade through 12th grade in a private Christian Assembly of God school. But I've healed it. It's no longer a problem. But then I went to a Christian Nazarene college, and then after that, you know, I have shopped around for a religion or something that I truly believe is real, something that I find peace and comfort in. I feel that here. I don't always feel that. In fact, most of the time if I step into a church, I'm wondering if I'm getting ready to burst into flame. If it's possible, I'd probably be able to do it. Nothing about my life is normal, usual. I'm pretty rare. I'm one of those, okay, so like if you're looking at medical diagnoses, for example, you know, you hear hoof prints, you assume horses, right? That's what we're used to in Oklahoma, horses. It's horse country. We don't expect zebras. Hi, I'm a zebra. Everything that seems to be weird, odd, seems to want to attack me and try to kill me. Now, my words here I'm going to use are very purposeful. I was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer in 2020. That's a terminal disease. And 95% of women do not survive that. I'm still here after 6 years. Then, everything was going pretty good until March. And I kept having a feeling that something was wrong with me, and I had pain, and I'm like, this isn't right. So I fought to get a mammogram. I'd already had one in June, so they didn't want to give me one. But you have to fight, especially you ladies, you have to fight to even be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged, because these doctors, especially surgeons, have kind of a God complex. And if it doesn't fit in their little script, they usually ignore it. Oh, breast cancer's never painful. This'll be fine. You're not going to have it. It's so rare. I'm like, I'm BRCA positive. And if you don't know what that means, it means genetically there's a predisposition toward all these different cancers, melanoma, pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, skin cancer, melanoma, I think I said that. There's just a lot of opportunity for those things to go wrong. Ovarian cancer and breast cancer, they go together. But most women that have had ovarian, which is very rare and it's the silent killer, they don't live long enough to develop breast cancer. Nothing to look at here, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to look at here. There used to be, and I'm just trying to figure out, should I wear my prosthetics today? No, I'm going to be me. I'm just going to be comfortable. It's really nice not having to wear a bra, gals. Man, I have given up boob sweat for the summer. Gone. I was listening to the songs, particularly this song about my dog. And I'm going to try to get through this part without bawling. I had a service dog up until April 14th. So the song just about killed me. I know you picked it to be kind and wonderful, but it just about ripped my soul out because my best friend, he died on my kid's birthday. Really kind of ruined that for her, but my grandmother had also died on my kid's birthday, so I guess April 14th is not a blessed day for survival. But I'm telling you now, as God is my witness, that dog took my cancer. It happens all the time. People are sick, they don't know what's wrong with them, but see, animals are natural sponges. They absorb negativity and they transmute it into positive energy, just like a tree out there is taking in carbon dioxide right now. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't hear it, but we know it's true. Scientifically, they put off good energy. They put off oxygen, trees do. Animals, by contrast, take in negative. They take in your pain, they take in your grief, they take in your illness. And if they don't transmute it enough, or if they've lived for 9 years with somebody and 6 of it she's had a diagnosis of cancer, then it might be too much for them. See, I've never smoked. Not a day in my life. I'm not a smoker. And I took my baby boy to an emergency clinic up in Oklahoma City. And it was called VEG. It was like Veterinary Emergency Group. They're amazing, by the way, if you ever need to take a pet in there. Very open concept. The first thing they did, of course, was blood work. And then, I got to stay with him the whole time. He never was taken from me. We laid on the floor in some pillows, and I scratched his belly, and he was just trying to be so happy. He tried to comfort me, even though he was dying. And I talk to people all the time who go through this, and it sent me into a spiral. I don't have depression. I've never had depression. My dad died. That kind of messed me up a little bit. Father's Day, no dad. But this dog, he was with me through every chemo treatment. He was with me through everything I went through, the tests, the stuff, because he was an actual service dog, and I've got him right here. I've had him here for years because I knew someday he wouldn't be here in the flesh. So I still have him to look at. I have his cremains in this ring with a picture of him. Petey, tripod Petey. You can look him up. He's been on the news multiple times. He's the dog I use for testing when I go out with my other jobs, the ones people know about. And I go out and I test your dog to see if it has the right stuff to be a therapy dog or potentially a service dog, or if it just needs to be a pet, just a loved entity in your home. So, not trying to be Dena Downer here. I got to have some positive here, because that dog, when the x-ray was put up in front of me, I hit my knees. I knew what I was looking at. I know what terminal incurable cancer looks like. In his whole chest cavity. Where was my cancer? My chest cavity. If you're a smoker or something, you know, that might be normal if he was in a smoking home to pick up some side stream smoke and, you know, develop cancer. But I don't smoke. You know, my kid has a vape, and if she ever comes to the house, she's always outside. I won't let her do that in the house, especially around the pets. Pets can't absorb that kind of stuff. It's really not good for them. So anyway, this little dog of mine, he has passed away, but I know he is right now doing what he always did. He's walking around, nudging you guys, bumping somebody's knee, trying to get somebody to pet him. He was an attention whore. And he was three-legged, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Tripod Petey. He got either thrown out of a car and then hit, or just hit and run over by a car. That's the best he could explain to me, because his memory was kind of like out of it. A friend of mine named Barb Shields picked him up on the side of the road, posted him on Facebook. Oh my God, I got tagged by like 30 people. You were a vet tech. You almost graduated vet school. You need to go see this dog. I'm like, eh. My other dog, golden retriever named Jake, had passed away only 3 months earlier. Was I in a mood for another dog? The entire idea of replacing, quote unquote, one soul for another is just impossible. First of all, you can't do that. You can get another dog, you can get another cat, you can get another mouse, but they're not going to be the same. It's not going to have the same soul unless it's reincarnated. And I do have one of those that is. But I'm telling you, it's just a hard spot. Poor Mary. I was so difficult to get a hold of. I was so difficult to pin me down, because I'd just been diagnosed with breast cancer. Then I had to lose these gals. And then I found out, because I did this preemptively, thinking I was going to save myself from it. Nope, it was there anyway. So image means a lot. When you're a 6-foot-tall woman with short hair, I've been called sir so many times it's not even funny. And I laugh it off now. It used to really hurt my soul. But now I got nothing. So that was one of the only things that gave me any quote-unquote femininity. But that's just my opinion. You know, that's just me feeling sorry for myself. But it was difficult. So to get here, difficult. Talking about dogs. Sorry. I'll take a little break.
It's okay.
What, right now is a good time to ask some questions. Ooh, hand, yes.
I've always been challenged with pets, but I would love to have one. And I'm not sure if there's something in me that doesn't, I don't know. I've always just kind of wondered about why I've always been challenged with having a pet.
When you say challenge, does that mean you've never had one?
I've had one periodically, like when my son was young, we'd have a dog, but
Sure.
I'd get irritated with it, or, you know, that kind of thing, so.
Some people just aren't animal people. I mean, you can't make yourself an animal person any more than you can make yourself white if you're black. You know, you can't make yourself purple if you're green. I mean, it's just you are who you are, created who you are. Maybe it's cats that you would get along better with. It kind of depends on your personality. The thing about cats, and I love cats just as much as I love dogs, but I love dogs more than most people. You said I love dogs and I love people. I don't know about that. I love dogs. People are okay. There's about 4 of them I like. And that doesn't include my child. Well, she's 23 and she knows everything. In fact, right now she's in Chicago for Pride Week. And as a 23-year-old, I mean, I was kind of terrified, but you know, she went away for school. I got diagnosed with cancer in 2020, and the kid did 6 more months of school, and then she left to go to Stillwater. So she was gone for 4 years while I was sick. I was totally alone. I remember army crawling to the toilet just to get there. I mean, it was during COVID, you know, pandemic. My own mother lived 30 minutes away, wouldn't come over. She was too scared. Too much of a risk, she thought. She came over a couple times, and she took food and she ran it up to my porch. And then she stood back like 20 feet and she called me. Honey, come to the door. What's that, Mom? Oh, no, don't come out. I brought you food. I'm like, thanks. I need food. Can I have a hug? No. So the good news is when I was bald and really have that weird shaped head that you never know about until you have to lose your hair. Wow. It was like a cone head. I was definitely a cone head. So those are the kind of things that people struggle. And I think that, you know, I'm bouncing around here, getting back and forth, because I've got a list in my mind what I need to follow, but things come in, sometimes other things, so you speak what you're supposed to speak. If I were to get your dog, for example, have a session with him, and he says, my mother is so loud in the bathroom, I will not tell you that. I'm not going to tell you your dog thinks your flatulence is ridiculous. No, the dog might tell me that. Believe me, I don't ask, but sometimes they tell me all kinds of things. And I don't want to know some of those things. And I'm like, let's talk about why I'm here. But yeah, they can be funny. They can be witty. A member of your congregation reached out to me a while back, a year and a half ago maybe? Was it that long? And she had a horrible decision she had to make about a pet. And, you know, this is her kid, you know, her kid with fur. So when people reach out to you with that kind of emotion, do I pick it up? Yeah. Am I a big crybaby? Absolutely. And you know what? I've got a friend who thinks my vulnerability is a problem. I think her lack of vulnerability is a problem. I was an athlete. I was a coach. I was all this bravado stuff for so many years that Amy had talked about, you know, losing who you are and getting back to who you should be. I had spent all that time creating this profile for who I should be. So I'm going back to where I started. And I started as a little kid talking to my dog in the backyard. And I can't go to places like zoos. I have a very, very difficult time going to shelters, dog shelters, things of that nature, where there's so much negativity and so much sadness, so much grief. You know, in your dog shelter right now, there's maybe 10% chance that an animal that you take there is going to survive. Do anything besides take them to a shelter. You know, even if you just have to have somebody foster for a week and somebody else foster for a week, and then you find somebody else. I just had a dog. After Petey died, I was called to Tulsa. I had to drive all the way to Tulsa, which about killed me. You would know that. I drove up there because I heard that he had been a service dog. Well, I just lost my service dog. So I thought, well, maybe he'll be a good fit for me. So I get there, and this dog is not trained. You know, they lied. They said he was a former service dog because he had a vest. That's problematic, too. Please don't put vests or, you know, pretend like your animal is a service animal if they don't deserve that. You put real service members, service dogs, and their handlers in jeopardy. You might want to take your grandma, her favorite dog. She's in a retirement community. She hasn't seen her dog. You're taking care of it. Find a way that you can bring the dog outside the facility to do that. They'll never tell you absolutely no under any circumstance can your grandma not see her dog. There are ways You just have to ask permission. Don't just boldly go into certain hospitals where I've spent the last 15 years trying to get them to follow a strict protocol so my trained therapy dog handlers can go there safely. I've opened the door and had a dog jump off someone's lap and come over and try to attack me and my dog. Imagine that. So, I mean, here I am. He was a pit bull, so of course there was that bias. You know, if a dachshund and a pit bull have an issue, who's going to be blamed? Won't be the dachshund, but you know that they are the number 2 and 3 breed that bites the most. Cocker spaniels are bad too about biting, but they're fiercely loyal to their people. Well, so was my pit bull, but he was well trained, so he just kind of sat there while this little guy like, and I was just like, okay. Shut the door, kicked him back, shut the door, went directly to the front and talked to the person. I'm like, why did you let them in? Well, he said he's your service dog. Well, and yeah, you can lie, you can get around it. You can say he's a service dog. Are you prepared for, and do you have the insurance to cover you in case he does harm someone? A dog out of a backyard, maybe not vaccinated, maybe he's got canine influenza, which killed hundreds and thousands of animals about 3 years ago. You know, we had to wait for over 6 months to get a shot. And people were just randomly bringing, you know, Bosco and Ringo and everybody into hospitals and stuff. And I get it. You know animals are healing. That's why people want to bring them in. But that's all the reason why we don't bring them in unless we have proper precautions. If you've got that relative that is dying on hospice, call me. I've got a team of like 50 to 100 people with Alliance of Therapy Dogs who will go see your person. They can visit in home. And if they're in a facility, I've got people that are probably trained, certified, and on board with that facility. And if they're not, we can get somebody out there and get them trained and on board. You know, if it's overnight, I don't know. I can't do that necessarily. But when the car went rushing through the students at Oklahoma State many years ago, I had a dog named Jake. He was not a service dog. He was simply my therapy dog. I didn't need a service dog at that time. But he was allowed in to children's because they didn't have enough therapy dogs, and they had so many children affected physically, emotionally. It was kind of a place of horror for a little while. But we worked it out, and we got so many dogs up there to help heal these kids. And my dog was laying there with at least 8 children on top of him. They were just laying on him. That's not a dog you can just do that with your dog. You know, noises and smell of medicine and all these things trigger a lot of animals. And a lot of animals don't like kids. A lot of animals are scared and nervous of kids. So we have to, as therapy dog handlers, and I'm the trainer teacher for all the therapy dogs basically in Oklahoma City, I have to train you, if you had a therapy dog, not to do certain things. You know, we're not supposed to let these dogs get within somebody's face. We have to control their heads. I don't care if that's a 200-pound Mastiff or if it's a little 5-pound Cotton Tutulier. You know, cute little white dogs that are just fluff. So whatever it is, dog-wise, you know, we can get somebody in. Any questions again? Any others? Lady with the glasses? Yeah.
Do dogs or animals respond to your emotions or your thoughts?
They respond to your vibes. Now, most dogs will have a 200 to 400 word vocabulary. If they're raised speaking Spanish, they will understand Spanish. If they're travel to some place in America where they need to speak English, they'll pick up certain things. But 90% of what you do with your pets is energy work. Mama's mad. Woo! You just came in from work and the dog's like, I'm not gonna greet you by the door. You know, they can feel it. They can feel it when you pull up. They like, ooh, Daddy's having a good day. Woo, we're gonna go play ball. Or, Dad just got fired. So that's what they pick up on is the energy, the way you carry yourself, your thoughts, your emotions. So yeah, they can understand certain words. They know ball, they know bed, they know, treats, cookie, go potty, they know certain things, and they can understand. I have a dog that watches TV with me. She's almost 15, and she is a big reason why I do this. Her name is Desi, or Destiny. She's got a long story behind her, but this is a dog who wouldn't communicate. She's also a dog that is on the spectrum. And yes, animals can be on the spectrum, just like people. Animals have a preference of, are they right pawed or left pawed? They have, you know, everything kind of we do. In veterinary medicine, there's a term for it that, you know, animals don't think like people, don't feel like people. And, you know, wrong. I just had to keep my mouth shut during all of that kind of training because I knew better. I actually have been fired once in my life, and that was when I worked at a veterinary group outside of Stillwater in a little town, Perkins. And the veterinarian there was telling a woman something that I knew to be wrong. Now, you can't argue with your doctor who pays your salary. But I did. And I got fired. But I also helped save that dog. Are you standing for a question, or you just need to stand?
No, I just needed to stand.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
We have a dog that has a severe separation anxiety issue.
Okay.
And, well, I don't want to put any of my biases into the discussion, but is there anything that you can recommend to help diagnose? Because I kind of think it's the kind of thing where if we just understood why,
Right.
that we could fix it.
Sure. That's what I do in these sessions. I have to, you know, I get information. You know, you'll contact me, I'll gather information. I need a picture, I need the animal's age. Anything else you're willing to share. Most people don't want to share anything because they want to see if I'm real. I get it. So they hide a lot of information. Sometimes that information is vital because as a medium, I can speak to dead people. I can speak to dead animals. Do I choose to speak to dead people? No, it's not my calling. It's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm not saying I hate humanity. I'm not saying that at all, because everything I've ever done has been for children or animals. So all of my jobs are pretty much geared toward pets. But I was speaking to another member here in the congregation earlier about many times when I'm talking to a soul that's just passed, let's say, you know, somebody's cat just passed, and maybe grandpa steps in. I have to open myself up to all souls, pain, grief. So I have my own personal issues, and then I open myself up to whatever your dog just went through or you just went through, and I feel it just like you did. And I have to. Back there it says, are you still here? I am. Yes, sir.
Non-dog question.
Okay.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
What is the deal?
Okay.
They hate us. What's up?
No, I mean, I have 10 feeders in my backyard. I back up to a farm fence, and I've got about 15 acres back there. And they're not my personal 15 acres. That sounded like I owned it. But there's 15-acre lots behind where I live. And squirrels have never been a problem for me because I feed them. Now, that can cause a problem for some people. If they feed them, then all the squirrels come and, you know, mess up stuff. But I have found a way to work with squirrels to where they respect me. They respect my property. They don't throw nuts at my pets. They don't chatter except at each other. Mating season, there's, you know, it's all over the place. But what problem do you have with your squirrels? Specifics.
Well, mostly I just think they don't like me, but the squirrels, they're my squirrels, our squirrels, the neighborhood squirrels, they've taken to the lady next door's mulberry tree and they're just killing it.
Yeah, they are.
Just stripping the bark off of it. And, you know, I don't know if it's because of the cats in the driveway or, you know, it just seems
Well, that's an excellent source of food, mulberries. In fact, I've got a huge mulberry tree, and yeah. Put it into perspective. Everything is about perspective. Everything in life is about, yes, I am standing here on a pain scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably an 8. But I'm here. And my perspective is, no matter how bad things get, I can still give. I still have something to say. I have something to give. So I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective. You're a squirrel. You were born a squirrel. There's one mulberry tree in the neighborhood. It blooms in the spring. It has the most delicious mulberries. And it's really cool because as a squirrel, when you poop, it's purple. Pretty interesting. So imagine being in this neighborhood. You have to fight everything for survival. You know, being a wild animal is like the hardest gig in the world. I don't know why anything wants to incarnate as a wild animal, because it's tough life, real tough life. They have chosen to live and to experience a natural death. Most of our domesticated dogs and cats want an option. They want a choice. Sometimes they want to die alone, sometimes they don't. But back to the squirrels. Make friends with them. Give them something else. I mean, you know, that little deer corn and stuff at Atwood's and all these other places, it's cheap. And if she would do that, make an offering, it usually appeases them. I'm telling you, I've offered whiskey to different spirits, indigenous spirits, when I was on their land. And it was amazing. I stayed at a bed and breakfast that had outside of Santa Fe. And they had done studies there and dug a lot of antiquities and stuff out of the ground, Native American antiquities. And so we were staying on somebody who had a plot of land that also had these burial grounds. And my daughter and I, we drove into Santa Fe. We got some whiskey. We got some tobacco, because these were older, you know, and just offered to the spirits that live there, the spirits that might encounter, that we were there for a few days. We weren't going to harm the land. We were going to protect it. And we had the most amazing time there. I mean, I saw flying comets. It was, you know, actual natural orbs. I saw these things, and I wasn't out there smoking peyote to do it. But I mean, it's just like everything can open up if you open your mind. So the perspective for you maybe is not shame. It's not to call you out. It's to give you a perspective of, hey, it's hard being a squirrel. Let me do something to give them a little help. You know, I'm not proposing that you feed them daily or that you ever try to touch them. Just don't. I don't. I mean, I've had raccoons come to my door. I will not touch them. I do not want to touch them. I want them to stay wild. I want them to know people aren't safe. People are not to be trusted. But this person cares about me. Therefore, they'll care about that property. And just, you know, ask her to maybe give something else, or maybe you do. Maybe out by the back, somewhere in the back of the fence. Give them a place to go that's safe. Lift it up off the ground if you have pets. They can get to just about any food, squirrels. Now, I know there was somebody else up front that had a question. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, I've got a herd of 3 dogs, and I was wondering if you could do a reading on, like, the 3 of them as a group to work out.
If they're all 3 alive, yes.
Yeah, all 3 alive, to see, work out their issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do over 3 because I find it just too confusing.
Yeah.
You got 3 souls talking plus the person I'm talking to. So I got 4. Yet I've spoken to them before. The way I break my sessions down is different than any other animal intuitive that I know. Let me know when I get too long. How many minutes? Okay. The way I do it is I will initially get the pictures. I'll immediately start talking to the animals. I can do the sessions then, and I can call you and give you the information afterward. But for things like stress between your pets, very effective, very helpful. And a lot of times it is just our perspective, just what, you know, we're not looking at it from their perspective. Yes, you've got wood floors. Yes, you've not done anything to get the smell of dog urine out of them. So yeah, your dog's going to be attracted to that area. be responsible. Take ownership. Don't throw your dog away. Do something about it. Find out the root cause of why your dog is doing what they're doing. And I am very helpful for that. And then we can go from there. I'm also an animal behaviorist. Went to vet school for 3.5 years. So you're basically getting an $80 session for free right here. You're learning all the important stuff. I got to wrap it up real quick. Anybody else?
Just got one quick one.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you address end-of-life issues?
All the time.
Because to sit there and watch the animal just suffer and be in pain, you want to help them
Sure.
end their life.
Most animals want assistance, but that's not always true. They don't always want. Sometimes they come to this life, they've got their own karma to deal with. You know, they might have been a human last time around. We don't know. But if they've got karma, they have to settle their karma, deal with their karma. Hopefully they've come to this world and they've accomplished their goals. So one of their goals is seeking a person who can give them assistance, help them cross over. There's a few that don't want that. They want to experience natural death. Maybe they killed a bunch of animals before in a former life, and they're coming back as an animal, and they're having to see the other side of that. I swear I must have been a slave trader or something horrific, because my karma has not been great here lately, health-wise. Did I address your question thoroughly?
Oh, I was just going to ask, our dog seems to anticipate when we're about to arrive
Mhm.
and goes to the door and just waits.
They absolutely know.
Maybe 5 minutes before I can, my wife gets.
Yeah. It's not unusual for 10 to 15 minutes. And a lot of that's just cyclic. They're used to routine. But here's the most important thing I can leave you with today. And that is, when you leave the house, tell them where you're going. Tell them about how long you're going to be gone. If you go on a trip, for God's sakes, please tell them you're going on a trip. Don't just drop them at Nana's house or take them to a shelter or take them to, some posh paws or something like that. Talk to them first. You don't have to necessarily talk to me to talk to them. They understand things. I'm going to be gone 3 sunups and 3 sundowns. They'll know what that means. 3 sunups, 3 sundowns, 5 sunups. They can count to about 10, most domesticated animals, horses up to 20.
You know how big a suitcase you're taking.
Yeah, I mean, if you're taking 1 bag versus 3, ooh, Daddy's going to be gone for a while. So, any other question before I close out? Oh, yes, ma'am.
What happens when you get overwhelmed by these psychic abilities? What do you do?
Ooh, good question. It's all about protection. It's all about, I got overwhelmed just sitting in that chair listening to songs about my dog, but the song was very important because it's like, I'm still here, ever faithful, ever loyal. I don't try to necessarily block it out. If I've got a person crying, heck, I might be crying with them too. And I just explain to people, look, I have to open myself up and feel this animal's pain and yours and my own. And that is a lot. So I put myself in timeouts, after I do sessions. I have to decompress. I have to shake it out. I have to get rid of the stress or the pain or the sadness that I expose myself to willingly, because it'll try to get me anyway if I don't. So I've, over the years, learned certain practices, that rituals, so to speak, crystals, things like that help me to, give it back to the universe, give it back to whom it belongs to. I refuse to keep it or take it on. Great question.
Man, Dena, that was extraordinary. I mean, we could keep you here for another hour, I'm sure. Now, I do want to let them know your website. Would that be the best way to get a hold of you? What? AskAnimalIntuitive.com.
You can just look up Dena Kay Psychic. That's
D-A-K Psychic? Okay. Dena, okay. Okay,
dog
well,
intuitive. I mean, I'm in there. I'm listed a lot of places.
Okay, great. And you're in Oklahoma City, or you're in Mustang, so,
Yeah, you come listen.
all right.
And I don't do a lot of in-person sessions right now.
Okay,
Just because of my health.
got it.
I used to do all in person, but I can't do that.
So you can do this over the phone or
Absolutely.
Zoom or
I've got
whatever?
clients in China and all over the country.
Okay. Awesome. And, well, I know we have other, empathic people here, so they might appreciate that. Okay, well, the band's back here. It is time to give back to Morningstar any way you can. So if you would, join me in the offering prayer, and we'll listen to the band for a minute. Recognizing God as the source of my supply, I joyously give of God's abundance, which is blessed and multiplied through me, and so it is.
We've got another animal song for you. It's called A Place in the Choir. And we'd like to invite everyone to join in on the chorus. We'll play it enough times, I'm sure you'll get it after a while.
All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they've got now. All God's children got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high. Some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. Listen to the top where the little bird sings on the melody and the high notes ringing and the hoot owl cries over everything. Blackbird disagrees. Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day, when the little duck quacks and he's on his way. The otter hasn't got much to say, and the porcupine talks to himself. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Dogs and the cats get at the middle while the honeybee hums. The cricket fiddles and the donkey brays and the pony neighs. The old gray badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the moon croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do, and the old cow just goes boo. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Dopey alligator and a hot dog. Let's do that verse again. It's a simple song. Like fox and fox and a grizzly bear. The dopey alligator and a hot dog. The slimy old weasel and a turtle dove. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands. Come on, folks. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. All God's creatures got a place in the choir.
Band, I don't know how you do it. You can. What an awesome, what our awesome Morningstar band, Frank, Jeffrey, Daryl, Ken. My gosh, you hit it again. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to the setup and takedown team, which was Mary today. And thanks to the board. There might have been others. That's why I saw setting up when I got here. Couple of announcements. Let me finish the thank yous. Thanks to Remy. Thanks to the board, like I said, and the finance committee and everybody, and the meditator. Thank you for that great meditation again, Leslie. Couple of announcements. First, we do need more signer-uppers for setup and takedown, as we kind of found out today. And it's, if you would, we're going to pass this around. We probably need someone for part of rest of June and definitely into July. So an idea that came from Sacra is get a partner that you can meet on Sunday here and set up with and kind of remind each other to get here. You don't need to get here till like 9:30 at the earliest, because it only takes about 10 minutes to set up. And I think plenty of people have done it, so you'll probably know how. Let's pass this around.
And you get to hear the band practice. Don't tell them that.
That's one of the bonuses. You get about extra 30 minutes of visiting time and band time. We're going to do a board minute. Amy's got a board minute for us.
Yeah, just real quickly, the board decided after we have a board meeting, we would come up and give you just a minute of what the board meeting was about so that you all can stay in the know. Daryl continues to remind us that the world keeps us busy and that we don't need to be busy. We can calm down and take some breaths and refuse to be busy sometimes. But the main thing that we talked about at last week's board meeting was our speaker committee. Sacra and Midge and the speaker committee do so much. They take a break in the summer, so it's up to the board to find the speakers, to do the communicating and all of that. And we're implementing a new process for the speaker committee to get the word out to everyone. So if the facilitators look confused or a little bit unprepared, it's probably not their fault. It's probably us implementing this new process. So be patient with us as we do that. But we have a lot of good speakers coming up. You guys will enjoy hearing from some of our regulars here this summer. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
And I did notice on the docket is the shiitake mama is coming back. So Dena communicates with animals. The shiitake mama communicates with fungi. So yeah, we've had her here a few times before, years ago. Let's see. I think that's it for announcements. So next week's speaker. Pull them up. It's Lori Greengrass Zimmerman. Her title of her talk is Coming Home to the Heart. Lori is a member of the Ho Chunk Nation, a licensed massage therapist, sound healing facilitator, and healing arts practitioner since 2007. She's devoted to creating spaces of peace, restoration, and interconnection by blending the sacred sounds of the native flute and drum. Oh, wow. As a student of the School of Metaphysics, she studies consciousness and the deeper workings of the mind. Through her offerings, she invites others to experience healing, reflection, and connection to spirit. So come and experience the healing power of sound, stillness, and sacred vibration. Through prayer, tone, and the sacred frequencies of alchemy singing bowls, gong drum, and Native American flute, we align body, mind, and spirit with the harmonies of the divine. Music is medicine, and each of us carries our own unique song. Chairs will be set up. Feel free to bring a yoga mat, blanket, or whatever makes you feel comfortable as we journey inward to the heart space, allowing love to flow through us as we remember our oneness. So I wonder if we can bring drums too, probably. Just bring them. Bring your stuff. So, great. Well, let's read the prayer for protection and do the peace song, if you would. So the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and so it is.